Hey, this is Chugg, and in this video we're going to be looking at strafe jumping. Now, for something a little bit different, first of all we're in Quake Live, but more importantly our strafe keys are O, L, K, and semicolon. Now, why have I done this? It's because I'm playing left-handed. My left hand is controlling the mouse, and my right hand is controlling the strafe keys. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach myself to strafe jump left-handed. I'm going to take you through my process so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, I can identify the problems and how I address them so that you can get a better idea first getting this to work. So first of all, what do we do with it when it comes to any mechanical feat that we're trying to learn? Break it up into smaller components. So obviously here, left hand, right hand. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we'll just focus on the keyboard hand for the moment, and we're going to also forget about jumping. Like jumping, you're going to break it down even further. We're going to just focus on strafe keys. So what does the strafe keys look like when you're strafe jumping? You're going to be holding forward and a strafe direction as you fly through the air. Okay. We want to practice. I said practice. We want to be able to switch direction on a regular basis in time with the jump key. So just practice getting this change swift and quick, because you don't want you want to minimize the time that you're not holding a strafe direction. Okay, and look, that's quite simple. Good, we want it to be simple. Now we're going to add in the jump key. Now there's a trap here. This is something that if someone had told me, it would have made it much easier for me to learn how to do this. It took me 2 weeks to learn how to strafe jump, and if I'd known about this would have been I would have learned it much quicker. And that is, you're not supposed to jump as you land. Okay, you're supposed to jump a little bit before you land. Now, why is this? The best explanation that I can come up with is that if you're in the air and you press the jump key just before you land, you're in the air, obviously. So the game recognizes that, hey, he can't jump, but it stores the command. It holds it. So the frame that you land and hit the ground and you're able to jump again, it has remembered to hit the jump key and you will jump. So if you jump just before you land, you will hit frame perfect jump after frame perfect jump. Okay, and that is very helpful. Okay, moving on. So we want to obviously get used to the jump timing, so we can do that by just holding forward and then hitting the jumps. This may be a little bit, you may want to skip this step, but I want to outline it anyway. So now we want to add in the strafe keys, the forward and strafe as we go through the air, and we want to change direction in time with our jumps. Now there's something very specific that you want to look at here, and that is the behavior of the speedometer. I get to around 450, and then there's this hard cap, and then it sort of skips up a little bit, and that's what we want, because when for this physics engine specifically, whether it's the same in Quake Champions, it probably is. If you're holding forward and you're jumping through the air, you will accelerate. Okay. But if you're holding forward and a strafe direction, you will not accelerate. Now, what does this mean for us? So when we're trying to do this forward and left, timing the jumps properly, if we see this number increasing, that means if we see this speedometer increasing, that means we have too much time between the jumps, like from holding forward and left, and it takes too long to get onto the other strafe key, like this. We'll see it's jumping up 10 at a time, 20 at a time. It's not good. We want this to be clipped and very precise and very small increments. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We also don't want the number to drop ever. If the number drops, that means our jump timing was wrong. Okay, so this is what you want to practice. Get this consistent. You want this to hit 450-ish. And then increment by 4 or less, maybe 6 or 7 occasionally, but you want this really these jumps to be really small. And once you can do that, or your keyboard hand is done. That's all your keyboard hand ever has to do when it comes to strafe jumping. Now we'll move on to the mouse hand. So in my case, the left hand, and this feels quite strange. What does the mouse hand do to increase speed with strafe jumping? And my understanding is that when you are holding forward and left, and you're moving your mouse towards the left, you will accelerate. Okay, it doesn't matter how fast you're moving the mouse, or you know, as it may seem, even if I'm just like moving it very slowly like this, I'll still accelerate at the optimal value. That may not be true. There may be a difference slightly between moving super slowly and moving like pretty quickly, but it's insignificant, and it's not how I do it. So I'm gonna tell you how I do it rather than what the true way is, because I may not know the true way. So yes, we want to move our mouse to the left when we have a forward and left direction held down. But there is an exception. Okay, if your crosshair is placed in the dead zone, you will not accelerate. I'll define that in a second. So again, to reiterate, just move to the left, forward and left, you will accelerate. But the dead zone, that means you won't. Okay, the dead zone. What is the dead zone? I need to be crisper here. When you get to approximately 460 units per second, this vertical line appears. And if your crosshair is on that line, you will not accelerate. And as you increase your speed, this line starts to widen and become fatter and fatter, and it becomes a cone. So at around 550 units per second, let's say it's grown to about this thickness. So my crosshair is anywhere in this region, I will not accelerate. 600 units, it's more like this. Okay? So ideally, with our mouse movement, what we want to do is we want to jump across out of the dead zone and then push slowly away from the dead zone. And then we want to change the strafe direction. We jump across the dead zone again and we push. Okay? So this is the movement that I want you to practice. When you start strafe jumping for yourself and getting it solid, you want to become familiar as to how the dead zone behaves, and you can do that by trying to live in the dead zone and just push until it'll be 0, 0, 0, 0, and then it starts to accelerate. Like no acceleration, and then it suddenly starts to accelerate. Therefore, you know that the dead zone line was here. So you can get a feel for it, and that's if you want to become super good and be absolutely optimal. But otherwise, just like if you keep your crosshair over here, you're going to be fine. You're not going to get slowed down. So we just practice this movement of jump across, push, jump across, push, jump across, push. This is all your mouse hand ever has to do. So that's it. We have all the skills needed to strafe jump. We just have to put it together. Okay. So I'm just going to refresh to make sure that my right hand is or my keyboard hand is doing this properly, and then grip the mouse and try to do this jump push. It's not consistent smooth at all. Like my mouse control is no good left-handed, but hey, it's expected. Poor jump timing. Hey, look, we did it. Okay. And look, if I can do this left-handed, and that was very messy, but the purpose of doing it with this detail is that I can think back on that, and I'm aware of all of the components that go into it. I know about my switching of strafe directions, I know about my jump timing, I know about my crosshair placement positioning, I know about my smoothness of my crosshair movement, and I can identify where the problems are and make modifications and to just be aware of where the problems are so that I can fix them. Okay? So yeah, that's the basics of strafe jumping. I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you later.